Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are here for Biffa's Horky Borky challenge. Just before we get into what that is, you will see I flashed up on the screen the setup I have for the game. We have no dynamic weather, no night cycle, no active disasters from the DLC, and I also just flashed through my mod list to show you that what we are doing here is a completely vanilla playthrough. That said, I edited out the loading time, but you will understand if you play this game. This is vanilla, 100%. And as mentioned, we are doing a Biffa's 30-minute Horky Borky challenge. You'll see I'm sitting there with my phone and my little face cam. However, I've managed to teach myself how to put a timer on the screen, so by the time we start, you will be able to see exactly what progress we have throughout the day. Ignore that flashing, that's just so I can sync things up. So what is the challenge? The challenge is, within 30 minutes, get the worst traffic flow percentage possible. Simple as that. About a week before Biffa put this challenge out to everybody, he did the panic challenge, which was to grow the population to as large an amount as possible. This is not that. This is solely based on your traffic percentage. I imagine anyone watching this video kind of knows who Biffa is. You know what Biffa's all about. He likes traffic, he's gone loopy, and he's set this wonderful challenge for everyone. So, how did I approach the challenge? Initially, I had realised that in order to get traffic problems, we need traffic. And I know that might sound really stupid for most of you, but as a result, that means the start of this challenge is very similar to the panic challenge, with a couple notable exceptions. Those exceptions would be that instead of forming a grid, you will notice all the roads meet up at one fairly important crossroads in the middle of the map so far, and there will only be another couple of crossroads in which the bulk of the traffic has to go through. I'm not going to spoil it yet, but we are going to manipulate those traffic pinches, so to speak, and as the game moves on, we are going to block them so that cars cannot get from A to B, and thus our traffic flow goes down the way. Bear in mind, it is the lower the percentage, the better for this challenge. So that is kind of the plan, and I'm actually quite happy with my results from this one. So the chances of me doing a attempt 2 is fairly limited and slim. However, if you guys have a different technique or a different strategy to what I used, pop it down in the comment box below and there might be a part 2. Simple as that. The part 2 I did of my Biffa's Panic Challenge build was so far my most viewed video for at least 9 years. So we will see if this video does anything close to that. And if you are one of these new viewers, check out the channel. Have a look, there is more City Skylines content on there. At the moment there's also some Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and we are going to be looking to add more. So, as with any YouTuber worth of salt, you have this obligatory, boring announcement: like, share, subscribe, comment. As someone just starting out, that makes the whole world of difference. even just 1 or 2 views or comments. It is surprisingly interesting just to pull up your YouTube studio page and see that somehow 5 people managed to find one of your videos, and you sit there, you scratch your head and you go, how? How on earth has 5 people managed to go to the depths of YouTube in order to find a guy who's starting out, doesn't really have a Scooby what he's doing, but hey, that is how someone gets started, I guess. And yeah, strangely motivating, not gonna lie, a little bit of an ego boost. So the message is simple: if you want to see more videos, more interactions like that is ideal. So you will also notice, in terms of similarity with the other Biffa Panic Challenge video, we are going to be maintaining the services. Ignore the fact that I just pulled up Chirper there. I was trying to get rid of him, but little shit doesn't get rid of. As we do gain services here, we are going to add more and more in. Hopefully immediately as possible. That said, I will be honest with you all. I did through this playthrough neglect the schools and the education. I don't know if I could have get a better result by staying on top of that more, but I was still happy enough with the population I got in order to create the gridlock that I was able to achieve. The other difference here is, instead of the industry being by the highway, I have set the industry up whereby it has to go through those 2 or 3 pinch point junctions that I spoke about earlier. And of course I also utilised the trick where I laid the roads and zone stuff in, and I didn't really care about people crying for electricity or water. As long as those icons don't turn red, I've got time to play with to get it in before they leave. I don't think my road budget ever came off 50%. There is possibly a couple more tweaks I could make with the roads in order to make them more or less efficient. Certainly when it comes to the final build at the end of the 30 minutes, to add in a couple of highway segments to block people walking would make a big difference as well. I do zoom in very close to the end. You will all be able to see, I think, the amount of people walking round our pinch points, or our traffic cock blocking sessions as I'm going to call them. But yeah, the industry by the highway junction, very, very minimal. And that highway junction doesn't change. The fact that traffic builds up there is good, because we want traffic build up. I wasn't sure if things outside of the starting square, or the currently active square, actually counted towards your traffic flow percent. If anyone does know that, let me know. But if that was the case, it might be wise to make it slightly more efficient further into the map before we then put our idiot junction in the way. More housing. You'll see this northern half of the residential area. There's only one way in and out. Something that I found useful for this scenario is bearing in mind the fix the traffic scenario that comes with the game on the mass transit playthrough. I think it's mass transit, whereby you have to fix the traffic in the scenario, and that is a scenario I plan on featuring in the channel because it is one of the more interesting ones. I'm going to openly admit to you all, I started off with what I think was a slightly boring, easier one, just to get to grips with all the software tools that I need to make videos. But I would hope you will agree that the videos are starting to get a little bit more polish, and as a result I may be able to start churning them out just a little bit more regularly as well. And on top of that, different videos kind of suit different presentation styles, so to speak. Some videos are good playing the game and talking while you're playing it. Other videos like this, I think, are good with a post commentary on top. So those things take different levels of time as well. It's a good thing I've got bloody lots of it in this current date and climate that we're in. I can just imagine someone watching this video a few years now. What date? What climate? I'm just going to keep my mouth firmly shut on that one. It'll be a fairly memorable event, I believe. Safe to say we are all locked in our houses with very little to do. Only being let out to run around and exercise like we're in a little hamster cage. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Boris's little hamster. I'm also quite surprised at how neat I made this one. I deliberately set out to treat it as a speed build, and as such, if there was a squint road or a squint pipe everywhere or anywhere, I would just leave it, crack on. But I actually think I executed all the roads and pipes quite well. Everything's very squared off. And here, getting installed now, is my secret weapon, or one of my secret weapons for this playthrough. Notice I've just stuck it at the arse end of the entrance junction. But buses. And completely vanilla, if you've got the right DLCs, or maybe even if you just have the correct updates, or free updates that come with the DLCs, you can play around and tinker with the budget for buses. So I have taken the main busy roads and I have plopped bus stops on them. Now, you'll see all the happy faces. You know, people are happy, they're getting serviced. We are raising the population, but we're also going to overpopulate these lines with buses as much as the game will allow us to do so. And just like on the Panic Challenge, even if the bus route is absolutely bollocks, it doesn't matter. People are still happy that their service is there. And what we've done is made our service absolutely bollocks in the opposite direction. It's not a case of just put a stop on each road. This is a case of put as many stops as we can possibly fit into the absolute busiest roads, thus creating stoppages and delays. Now, I haven't actually ramped up the number of buses yet, because I'm still trying to grow the city. I'm not trying to piss on the fire just yet. I think that was actually one of the major mistakes Biffa made when he did this. He just tried to make the traffic bad from the beginning, whereby I am more than happy to get enough population and ruin the city once we have it. No one's going to move to a broken city. That said, I think I always had a positive population flow even once I'd broken it, so maybe that suggests I didn't break it well enough. There is a childcare centre put into this map, somewhere central. I can't remember if it's already in or not. I believe it is. So that should also help with the population positive tick over. And as you can see, approaching halfway. Halfway, and we are on 3,200 plus people. I don't believe it's quite as good as the Panic Challenge. That said, we are using the same map that I used on attempt number 2. And you will possibly remember if you watched that video, or more likely if you're watching this from new, Bon Bon B was the reason I did an attempt 2, because my first attempt was crap. And Bon Bon B basically ranked a few of the top maps specifically for that challenge. And what you found out is that I think it's the percentage of flat and buildable land actually alters the requirements for milestones. And this particular map seems to very favourably put the milestone unlock progress in your favour. So we should be able to access some of the advanced stuff just a little bit earlier on in this one. That includes high density. Not that high density really features in this build. And I think now you can really clearly see just a few different situations whereby we have an awful lot of living area, or a large working area, or a large shopping area, all segregated off, all needing transport from A to B. It's not really a walkable distance, I don't believe. And there's only one way in and out to each of those areas, which is music to our ears. Now you'll notice, or remember rather, that bus depot right down the bottom left of the map. We're putting a new bus line all the way up the top of the map. It's got to squeeze through that skinny little junction. And it's kind of between these two active bus lines that you can see me finishing off just now, that I was referring to earlier when I said I kind of wish I put a highway road in between that, because the number of people I think walking over the top from one bus line to the other might just have lost me a few percentage ratings there, I guess. If they couldn't walk, what the Sims in this game do, they pull out their pocket car, which lives in their pocket. It doesn't live in their driveway or a car park or the side of the road. They would get off the bus, pull the car out their pocket, drive over the highway, get back out of their car, put it in their pocket. Yes, it's not a terribly realistic game. You'll notice that there are some complaints for garbage collection. Like the bus depot, you can just see it on screen there just now, all the garbage is down the bottom left hand side of the map. I realised that I wanted to give them other options for the garbage, because I didn't want that to make people leave the city, even though I still wanted the traffic issues. So I did give multiple locations for our garbage dumps up near the industrial area, top left of the map. I do put in some extra garbage there because I needed the people to be happy. I need people to keep moving in. The only thing I didn't need was free flowing traffic. That said, I had to intelligently make sure the traffic could still flow to the areas it needed to flow. That's why the bulk of the services, be it the medical, the police, the fire, they're all in the residential areas. And the problems only occur when you have to jump from A to B, from residential to work or from work to shopping. So that's the icons just gone red there. It's only now that I really worried about trying to get those in. In fact, I even believe at one point I hit pause when I realised, just to make sure the population didn't go down the way. I would rather have lost a few seconds than a few people. So by the time my idiot self notices the problem with the rubbish, you'll see me potentially hit that spacebar or hit that pause in the timeline very briefly. Stop clock doesn't stop, just the in-game timer. The rules for this are you can pretty much do whatever you like as long as it's vanilla. So anything that is possible in the vanilla game, no mods, no assets, it's fair game. Absolutely fair game. And you can see a lot of the problems coming in here. And is this where I employ tactic number 2? It is, I believe. I did have a little problem getting it in. I don't entirely know why these roads didn't just draw in. I thought it might have been the bus stops preventing it, but I deleted the bus stops and it still didn't work. In the end, I had to delete this whole crossroads to put this in. And it's a strategy lifted directly from the fix the traffic scenario that I mentioned. We are going to be putting in a roundabout. And I know what you're thinking. Biffa loves roundabouts. Roundabouts fix traffic. What are you doing? You're trying to make the traffic bad. Well, a little trick with this roundabout that you are hopefully going to see, and this is obviously 2/3 into the video, this roundabout is going to go in backwards. So we have right-handed traffic. They have to go round the roundabout in a clockwise direction, which means they have to cross over or through leaving traffic. And that, rather than just being able to move straight on the roundabout and not get in anyone's way, here they have to get in someone else's way, and it's such a busy junction, they've got no choice but to stop and pick a space. There is no Traffic Manager Pro Edition. We've not fiddled with it in any way. It's a hand-drawn roundabout. We've not used the Roundabout Builder mod. And you can see there from the bus lines the crossing that has to be done. So to get off the roundabout, you have to pass through. And just to be an even bigger dick to these people, I've put extra bus stops on the roundabout. Extra traffic. There's about 60 buses per line, and they are all trying to get through that one little roundabout backwards. And you can see that lovely shade of red that I was hoping for, and it worked. It worked. And here you can see me trying to add in another. We're not doing oval abouts. This is not Biffa's City Fix. This is Poison Frogs Gaming City Destroy. So it's not an long about. It's a Horky Borky backwards godforsaken roundabout. The junctions are not very far apart. Again, there's a big populated bus line on that top one as well. So we have problems meeting problems very quickly. They are my two major pinch points in the city. And I'm sure you have spotted my other pinch point in the city. Oh, I'm not doing it just yet. I'm adding in... Ah, yes. I had industry demand, which needed sorted. I think I spoke prematurely when I spoke about the landfills getting put in multiple places. I did put an incinerator in, sure that is still to come. It definitely happened, or I've got a little bit loopy. So, same tactic here in our third pinch point of the city. Everyone coming into work has now got to go through a complete twat of a junction, if I'm going to be completely honest, having to cross over each other's paths. And I don't have to mess up the whole city, because the whole city has to use those roads. Those roads are not free flowing, which means we have a backup. And it is that backup that I believe has ramped my percentage for traffic flow down so low, which is the sheer number of cars unable to move by the time the clock stops. That's the buses going up now. Might have said 60 before that one, they looked around about 42-ish. Though that might have just been the one on the residential sector. The other ones might be busy. Look at that backup. Isn't it glorious? Biffa will be turning in his little computer chair because he's still alive. Hopefully, very well. And this is the time that I realise I absolutely forgot about education. I forgot to keep on top of my services. I don't think it hampered me too much looking at that tailback, because it's the tailback that is important. 7,000, that is enough population to get a fair mess on the roads. And as we approach the last 4 minutes, there is a little bit of a surge of me trying to boost the population. Obviously it started with the schools. It's now also getting to the point whereby money is not actually an objective anymore. I have everything bought and paid for. Nothing in the rules mentioned going below budget, did it now, Biffa? So, spend, spend, spend. At some point, I believe I throw the tax down as well, just to see if it could entice a few more people in. A few more people up that central road, heading towards that fully gridlocked residential roundabout. Quite literally a pair of donuts. Can't remember why I bought the loan. Was that more fire service or more parks? Doesn't matter. That's the tax going down. You can live here and pay 7% tax. Sounds like a good deal to me until you have to, drive to work. And that is the extra landfill going in that I mentioned earlier. I'm obviously only a little bit senile. And yes, the high density rush. Honestly, don't even know when I unlocked it. I don't think it was all that recently ago, but in it goes. We are at the end of the challenge. I am just trying to make things as bad as possible. That is down to 1% tax now. And that did increase our population turnover ever so slightly. It did go down. In fact, it's teetering around about very low. Oh, there's negative now. So we have got our population tick over to the point whereby we lost 3 people in one tick. Aside from that, I think I've kept it in the green the rest of the time. People are still coming to live in this 57% traffic flow city. But it's cheap. It is cheap. So we can't knock them that. And coming up to just 1 minute left, you can see that absolute mess. Oh, a bus just disappeared. It obviously gave up on something. We don't need a bailout. Doesn't matter that I'm on negative money. 55% average traffic flow. Oh, 58, it's gone up. It shouldn't be going up. Maybe another bus deleted itself. Now, I do know by the time my clock went off, obviously I didn't have a timer on screen when I recorded this, I did flash up the menu that comes up with escape a few times. You'll also see me acting like a complete twat on camera, waving my arms around. That does signify the end. It may take me a few seconds more before I hit pause, but I did the timings honestly as I could. That's me waving my arms like a lunatic now. I've cut myself. Oh no. Oh. I might even have quit that a little bit early. So, the game is paused. 30 minutes. Been on the clock. What did I do? 56%. 56%. I'm looking fairly unimpressed with myself and my face cam. And if you're interested at all in going through all these demographics to see where I am, what services I've kept on top of, people are fairly happy in the city, to be perfectly honest. Noise is kept down to just the main roads, nothing else. Buses. Good numbers on buses. 98 vehicles on one bus route. Very much part of the traffic clogging success. And of course, it's fair game. We afforded it in the budget. Didn't even put the budget up to 11 or 12% on this one. Kept it quite low throughout the game. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is my Horky Borky traffic challenge. If you've enjoyed, please like, share, subscribe. Have a good day. Take care. Keep safe.